Howdy mates, part 3 video for today, and I'm still over at the Mill Creek Canyon, and all I gotta say is, wow, this is absolutely gorgeous. You like that pun I threw in there? Oh. It's a pimple I popped earlier. Anyway, to veer too far off subject, you figure Mill Creek, where you see that little tributary right there where the oasis is occurring, literally shaped part of this canyon. And to think that now it is just a smaller little waterway than probably what it once used to be. And essentially what I'm walking on top of is a great example of rockfall that broke down over time, and it winded up making this wonderful red sand. Wow. I'm taken away. But this right here was what really captivated my attention. You see, that is in a sense like a cave opening. And you figure probably how it formed was there probably was a flow, like a solution flow within the bedrock itself. And you figure with enough force and erosion, it eventually led to that opening that you see ahead of you. Now, something that I wanted to point out to you guys as well, you may have noticed the rock, how some of it appears black. I actually had to do some research on it this morning, and I came to learn that not only is iron present in the rock or silica, but you also have something known as manganese. Typically, with manganese, it usually has like a blackish purple appearance. I mean, from a distance though, it looks like it's black, but if you were to get much closer to it, there would be some hints of purple. How do I know? Well, I should say this sounds like a similar process that happens in caves, except this time it's actually exposed in light. Same concept, but just this goes off for miles and miles on end. You could literally be here all day if you wanted to. It's that remarkable. And just to see how rockfall eventually makes its own soil, which will then support plant life that you see here. Plenty of juniper, several different types of grasses. It's a lot going on. And surprisingly, I never expected to see cottonwood out here in Utah. But there's a reason why we are seeing cottonwood. It is a water-loving tree. You know, you commonly see them next to rivers, ponds, wetlands, marshes. That's where you'll usually see them. It's very rare to find them in a drier area. They need that wet soil. And given that we are right next to a waterway, it's very fitting. But the thing is about cottonwood, though, is when it's in bloom, oh my goodness. You would almost think that it is snowing outside, just because the blooms that they produce, they look very similar to cotton, hence the name cottonwood. And that is basically their method of reproduction, is by wind dispersal. But the thing is, though, cottonwood is a bit of a lighter wood, so it's actually fairly easy to work with. but my goodness. So I was able to do a little more background search on the bedrock. So in particular, in this part of Utah, you'll see different geologic formations coming from the Jurassic period, but then of course it breaks down a bit further. There's a couple of formations known as the Entrada, Moenkopi, as well as the Curtis formation. Now, did I really list those in order? Probably not. I'll be sure to, of course, correct that in the video description. But it just all has to do with some of the different textures that you're looking for. Given that we're not too far from arches, this is most likely Moenkopi. Most likely. But just holy cow. And to think, like, this is only just a small portion of the state. You still got Arches itself, Bryce, Zion, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef. It just goes on. And to just, yeah, it just goes to show that there's always something new worth exploring. And you gotta admit, the United States has a pretty darn diverse landscape in general. So that's one of the things that you can really appreciate about the United States. It's really its scenery. I mean, yeah, it's just very grateful. All right, you guys, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, or at least what day I ever decide to post this video. I don't really know yet. But, of course, journey on a journey is onwards. Take care.